Guys. Alright, so I had a kind of been looking through this book, and it's kind of late, so I'm gonna make this one quick. And it's called Defense Against the Dark Arts. So it's one, if you watch my previous videos, it's one section in here that kind of stands out to me. I just wanted to touch on, and literally it's because, as I explained before, I know a few individuals that have gone through some issues and were actually institutionalized for, it was a 5-day stay for all people. And it made me also think of someone who passed a few years ago, and someone else who went through a, I'm going to say a soft version of what I've been reading. But I just want to read one section. So under psychic attack, so it says a high-level psychic attack is indistinguishable from insanity. It encompasses many of the same symptoms as a dissociative psychotic break. So everything seems unreal and confusing. So you're overwhelmed by conflicting emotions and self-destructive urges. If you have any experience with hallucinogens, it is similar in many ways to a strong LSD trip, but without the visuals. So it's very deadly, and there's little defense against it. The goal of the attacker is to literally destroy you. They intend to drive you insane or make others perceive you as such. They can persuade you to harm others or yourself. Suicide or institutionalization are common end results of such an attack. These entities are so powerful they can ignore most wards and rip through most shields. Sage and talismans are of little help. Fighting a powerful, invisible, intangible force is extremely difficult, especially if you mistake the bizarre, intrusive thoughts for your own. They typically start out very subtle. And so I just wanted to, when I read that part and it says suicide or institutionalization are common end results of such an attack, I found it odd that, all of these people, they kind of out of nowhere, they were able-bodied people, pretty decent, took care of themselves, supported their families, pretty to-do-off people, all in their 30s, and just kind of out of nowhere, it's just like, yeah, such and such kind of went crazy, and they're now institutionalized for 5 days. So I thought it was odd that everybody was doing this 5-day stay. So to me, it seems a bit, it's too much of a coincidence to me. So there's one other section I do want to read. It's a lot in this, it's a lot to detail, but I'm going to skip to the last paragraph where it says, the only way to defend against this sort of attack is to know thyself and maintain balance. Inaction is preferably to panic or rash compulsive acts. Kabbalion is a basic text I recommend to all new students of the occult. Possibly the most useful book you can acquire. You need to keep your head straight in this game, or you can literally go insane or die. That actually happens a lot, and recently negative spiritual activity has spiked, getting numerous reports pertaining to recent events. And so what made me order this book in particular, the other ones, I didn't have those books with me, but Remote Brain Targeting was one book, and Project Soul Catcher is another book. The other one was Behold a Pale White Horse. I believe that's it. Behold a pale white horse. I believe that's it. But they talk about a lot of these different, a lot of different things that go on. A lot of it is kind of gives me the vibe of the dark arts, maybe occult coven groups, clandestine groups. But I did find it odd. I'm on the East Coast. Whoever is watching, if it's going on kind of on your coast, something that you've noticed, put that down in the comments. Maybe it's something we all can look out for. Possibly it's happening everywhere and we just don't know. Another thing I found odd is that it was a time when you always heard that black people don't believe in mental health therapy, or speaking to a counselor, getting that type of mental or psychological help. So I found it odd that all three of these people ended up in an institution for a 5-day stay and they were unable to leave. So no one went to the ER. No one went to, no one made an appointment with a therapist or psychologist, no type of outpatient. Nothing was an outpatient, but it was an inpatient 5-day stay. From my understanding, and this all came secondhand because I didn't speak to any individual in particular. One person I did speak to over the phone, and it literally sounded like a psychotic break. Like, from my understanding, like 2 of the guys were doing the same thing. They were kind of blaming their long-term partners of cheating on them, of calling them. It seems as though, remember I went over spoofing, how you can call someone's phone and you can change the number. It'll appear it's from their phone. It'll sound exactly like them, but it's not them speaking to you. And so they both were complaining about their girlfriends, or one of them, I know that's his wife, the other one may have been fiance, but they both were accusing their partners of cheating on them. They both were saying that their partners had all these secret, like TikTok and Instagram pages, that basically their partners were setting them up, is kind of where they both were going with it. They both said that someone chipped them. Like, one person said they was chipped at a club. Another person said he was chipped by somebody who stayed in the same apartment complex. But they both seemed to have, I don't know, it seems like just out of nowhere they kind of, it was like they were driven crazy from something, and then they were, and these, I'm speaking of 2 people because I don't really know the third person, his what actually happened to him. I just know secondhand he's actually I know his sister, so I don't really have a relationship with him, but I know his sister, and so I kind of got offhand what was happening to him, from not even a sister, but another mutual friend that myself and his sister has. So yeah, I really found that odd. I found that really odd that, while reading these books, I kind of just kept catching on to that type of information, and then actually going through my own, and then being able to hear from others about what other people are going through. And I also called the facility, one of the facilities in the area, and they mentioned that they had no beds, so they were at capacity, for that 5-day stay program. And I know how it was explained to me is that they have intake, and it's up to the doctor. It's up to the doctor whether or not you're released. I know for one of them was trying to check himself out, and they wouldn't allow him to check himself out. He had to take the medication, and it was said that while they are in that program, that 5-day state program, someone else has authority over them. So they had to they had to take the medication. They didn't have a choice. They couldn't just leave on day 3 because they were feeling better. They had to stay there the entire time, take the medication, and then if they did everything they were told to do, then they were released. One of them wasn't even released on the 5th day, and I don't know what that was about, but he wasn't released. But again, it's up to the doctor. And I want to touch on one more part of this, and then I will leave it alone. The last couple of days, it's just really been like, let me do a video. So I just figured I'd do one before I go to bed. That way, I can kind of get it off my chest. All right, so it says that, there are different forms of psychic attack. So a hex or a curse is ascending, which is different. A parasite is an attachment, which is also different. A psychic attack is direct external manipulation of thoughts and emotions. An extremist, the physical body, can be attacked, but there are limitations. So it says that a sorcerer or shaman can perform a weak version of this, attacking via the astral to invade dreams or promote illness, or attacking from the 4th dimension via an etheric projection. And in parentheses it says erroneously referred to as astral projection, or OOBE, a phenomenon similar to remote viewing. However, this is a very limited attack, and the projected assailant is extremely vulnerable in that state. So a slash from a thing could potentially kill him. Low-level spiritual entities such as discorporate humans or various etheric fauna and multidimensional creatures are similarly limited. Fortunately, they entail the bulk of psychic attacks, usually limited to energy drain, and are easily defended against. And so it speaks that, these are forbidden topics. There's a lot I cannot go into further. So basically that's the what it says, arcane lore. It doesn't even really have who the author is. But again, the only way to protect yourself is to know yourself. And so I know during that time it would be, heavy meditation. Heavy going within. And there's also another book, I may have mentioned it, but it's called Psychic Attacks by Dion Fortune. She speaks of these type of attacks as well. And she goes into the different lodges and kind of being able to determine, which lodge, which type of attack is coming from. She speaks of the different cultures behind the different types of attacks. Some cultures use a lot of the invisible, your gases, electricity, a lot of the chemical aspect of it. You have some lodges that does like the mind manipulation. And so, I can't recall the year her book was written, but it seems as though, because over time some things may have changed. Like this book was written, this was copywritten in 2017. So, a lot has changed since then. I'm sure some procedures and processes may have changed, but just me reading these kind of is allowing me to put it all together. And so now since I'm in the glossary, so it says astral, a spiritual plane coexisting with the physical, etheric, and oneric, O-N-E-R-I-C. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but I'll double check it. Attachment, that's any astral or etheric parasite or predator adhered to a host. And then you have clairvoyance. This clairvoyance. This is true seeing, the ability to discern spiritual phenomenon through interpretive images or visions, a common psychic ability which varies in strength between individuals. And clairvoyance, that true seeing, I truly believe that's why it's such this. Everyone does not have that true seeing, and so we all see things differently. And I was sent another video, and this woman, I can't remember her name, but she made a statement where she said, just because you don't believe in it or you can't see it, it doesn't mean it isn't true or it doesn't exist. And so with reading that clairvoyance definition, that really, that just reminded me of what she mentioned. So a lot of times we tend to think that, I don't believe it, so it doesn't exist in my world. And it's like, you're so wrong. It still exists. You may not believe it. You don't have to believe it, but it's still there. So either you're going to protect yourself or you're not. Purification, an intensive cleansing and decontamination combined with a strong charge of positive energy. So purification, I think that's good as well. I was just speaking with someone about that. A lot of people don't believe in spiritually cleansing or purifying your home, and you have to. Because you don't know, it's a lot. It's more going on in the unseen, in the spiritual realms, than what is in this our 3D existence, I should say. There's a lot more going on, and most of it is happening in the shadows. It's called the shadows because the majority of it is dark. Like nobody's out in the spirit doing too many helpful things. So yeah, that's where a lot of the negative things are occurring. A lot of people, you have murderers. Most people are they are more comfortable taking a life and murdering in the shadows than what they will in their 3D life. Most people will say things and do things in the shadows that they aren't even brave enough to do in real life. So you do have to protect yourself, protect your home, cleanse. Some people sage, some people use Palo Santo. You can do incense. It's all about intent. If you don't like the smell, you can just clap. Go to your house clapping. And just ask that any and all negative energy be removed from my house. I'm cleansing and clearing my home of all negative energy. I'm closing any and all portals that may be open. I'm not allowing any negative entities. Anyone, if I'm unable to see you with my 2 eyes, I don't allow you access to my home. You just walk to your house and clap your hands. And you do it outside as well, because a lot of these portals, they're opened at crossroads. So you live at like a crossroad. If that's at your house, you got those intersections. So you make sure you do it there as well. Do it outside. Do it outside your property line. You do it inside of your home. When you move, don't allow people to come into your house as soon as you move. You need to cleanse, get everything in order. Because a lot of people will come in before you've even gotten in your place good, and they opening up a portal so they can flip in and out your house in the shadows. You wouldn't know it because you don't believe it, but it's a lot of people that are able to do it. Another one I see here is what it says: psychic attack. Any of multiple possible forms of black magic when utilized against a target. So psychic attacks, that's a whole site. Usually people resort to psychic attacks when they've already tried their kitchen magic. they've already went to the witch doctor. You know, they've done all the low level stuff first, and so that's kind of like their last resort. Shielding, a common form of protection magic, strengthening the auric shell and forming additional barriers to malignant thought forms. It requires willpower, focus, discipline, and regular practice before becoming an effective tactic. There are dozens of shielding methods. Possession, when a malevolent entity has taken control of a host's physical body. This is typically an intermittent or chronic condition with periods of absence or hibernation between acute stages of full possession. The nature of the possession varies depending upon the entity. So I'm still just in the glossary, but I am going to wrap it up for the night. Before I do, let me go on to, I'm still in the glossary. Let me touch on one more. It says ward, W-A-R-D, a material or object utilized specifically to repel, dispel, disrupt, or absorb negative thought forms or dark entities. Typically a long-term obstacle, such as iron fixtures, mirrors, large crystals of smoke quartz, or certain symbols. And with those symbols, you want to look up protective symbols. Look up ancient symbols. So you have like your flower of life. That's a good one. I know they spoke of smoky quartz, but you can also do like shungite. I like that one. But look up your ancient protective symbols and then try and incorporate those symbols somehow on your body, in your home. I mean, you don't even have to see it. You can like have them in your house and stick them underneath the couch, so people don't even see it when they walk in. You know it's there, but no one else does. And white light, pure positive energy derived from the source, which is the basis for most shielding, protection, magic, and healing. All the world's religions have different names for it. And so that's it. Again, this was just about, I'm a little over 20 minutes. I meant for this to be quick, but I did just want to touch on the psychic attacks. They seem to be on the rise in my area. So I don't know if this is just a one-off, or is this a pattern? Is this something that will be happening throughout the country or worldwide? You know, who knows? Is this something that's just happening on the East Coast where I am, or is this happening in your area too? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share as well. I am working on my other platforms, but in the meantime, until I get all my platforms up and running, please share. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Until next time.